everybody, welcome to the session on artificial intelligence project cycle. In the previous session, we understood what is project, what is artificial intelligence project, and in this session, we will understand what are the different stages of the artificial intelligence project cycle. In AI project cycle, we have got mainly six stages. One is problem scoping, followed by data acquisition, data exploration, modeling, evaluation of the model, and finally deployment of the product. Now we'll understand the each and every phases or stages one by one in detail. The first stage is problem scoping. The problem scoping means selecting a problem which we might want to solve using artificial intelligence knowledge. Problem is the problem that the user actually facing in the surrounding. Whatever the problem that we see in our surroundings or in an environment, we can classify that as a problem. For example, going outside to eat food during lockdown, which is somewhat very complex, and getting good marks in the examination, that also a own problem which need a solution. Getting fresh food at proper time for working couples. Okay, conduction of online examinations and COVID-19 problems like maintaining social distance, wearing mask all the time during working hours, using sanitizers, etc. And having a rainfall and not having a rainfall, other means a heavy rainfall or no rainfall is also a problem. And transporting vegetables and marketing at the right time is also a problem. Like this, we'll be facing a many lot of problems. But how to select the problem for providing artificial intelligence solutions? One can go for sustainable development goals. The available 17 sustainable global goals can be selected. One among the 17 sustainable development global goals can be selected, like problems related to the poverty, no hunger, good health conditions, quality education, providing quality education, gender equalities, clean water and sanitations, clean energy, good jobs and economic growth, innovations and infrastructure related problems, reduce inequality problems, sustainable cities and communities related problems, consumptions of the energy, responsible consumptions is also a problem, and protecting the planet is also a problem, and how to solve the problem related to the life below the water, okay, fish related problems, life online on the land problems also can be solved. Then peace and justice related to problems, partnership for the goal, that is business related problems. These are the 17 sustainable development problems. So one can select any one of these problems, and in that once again one can go for the sub problems. In that they can find a solution by applying artificial intelligence techniques. Then in another way of selecting a problem is based on the themes. Here the problems may be related to the environmental, agricultural, traffic, infrastructure, health conditions, security, education, literacy, women safety, transportations, entertainment, cybersecurity related, travel, tourism, okay, disability, social welfare, and research. These are the different problems. Okay, these are the different problems. Okay, one can select any one of this problem, and in that problem, or one can select any one of this domain of the problems. In that there will be a lot of sub problems will be there. In that one can select the uh, any small problems and try to apply the artificial intelligence technique to solve the solutions. Okay, for example, if you take an agriculture problems, in agriculture there are pest issues related problem, yield related problems, sowing related problem, harvesting related patterns related problems, etc. All being very different from each other, but still a part of the agricultural theme. Thus, to effectively understand the problem and elaborate it, we need to select one topic under the theme. Okay, for example, if you take how might we help farmers for tapping rubber and harvesting areca nuts. This problem can be expressed using a 4Ws canvas. This is the 4Ws canvas. Here, first W is related to who, second one is what, third one is where, and fourth one is why. Here, who in the sense who are the stakeholders, what do we know about them. For example, stakeholders may be farmers, and farmers will be growing related to a rubber plantation farmers, areca nuts related farmers, And what is the problem? Second W stands for what, and what is the problem these farmers are facing, and how do you know that it is a problem? Problems particularly related to rubber plantation farmers or areca nut farmers, they will have scarcity of labors for crop harvesting, maintenance, transportations, and rubber extracting, like this. Evidence, usually we can get the evidence by conducting a survey with that is through farmers interviews and the news media report or online data, like this. And third W is where. It where in the sense the where this problem is occurring. What is the situation of that problem? What is the situation the stakeholders is experiencing with respect to this problem? Where is this problem located? Like for example, these farmers may facing a problem in the month of February, and rubber tapping and areca nut harvesting problem in the South Karnataka region. Okay, this is one of the uh, situations or context of the farmer. Okay, then the fourth one is why. Why this solution can be is important, and what way it is benefited to the stakeholders and society. Benefit of the solution to the stakeholder and society. How AI model benefit the farmer or society. Artificial intelligence based harvesting machine that can replace the human labor for rubber tapping and areca nut harvesting. Okay, this is suppose we have found one solution. Say it is an harvesting machine solution which can replace the human labor for rubber tapping and areca nut harvesting. And this machine can be used to solve the problem of labor deficiency with more accuracy. Solve the problem of labor deficiency with more accuracy. Okay, this is a 4W W's canvas, so one can express any problem using these 4Ws. Now the second stage of the artificial intelligence project cycle is data acquisition. Data acquisition is the process of gathering, filtering, and cleaning data, collecting data before the data is used for analysis. There are different ways to acquire the data, say surveys, web scraping, sensors, observations, cameras. One can even design their own APIs or use the existing APIs, and they can use even open data also. For example, open data sources. Here we have got best free open data sources like data search.research.google.com. One can go to that things and go to that website and collect the data that is needed. For example, here it is dataset search, which is a Google product. Here we can find the data related to iris. I will just write iris flower data set. Okay, I will iris data sets. Okay, data sets. Here we will have different data sets here. Okay, then we can just download this in zip file. We download zip file and extract the data that is required. Okay, this is there are other website also, say kaggle.com datasets, rq.ics.uci.edu, which is related to machine learning. Okay, then data.government. Okay, Indian government has got its own data center, that is open data center, which can be used for research purpose, that is data.gov.in. Okay, in this data website is we can also download some certain data that is required for our problems. We have to search the data that is related to the problem, because here for example you can see this here, drinking water and sanitation related data you can get, health related data. Okay, similar labor and employment, like state-wise unemployment, state-wise worker population, state-wise labor force participation, changes in employment, like this. Even education related. Okay, like this you will get a data, appropriate data that is required for our problem. We have to select and we have to use that for developing a model. Now, the third step is data explorations. In data exploration, we will understand the data collected by using a visualization tool and statistical tool, such as size, quantity, and accuracy, in order to better understand the nature of the data. Data exploration techniques reveals trends, patterns, and points of interest, enabling data analysts to gain greater insight into the raw data. Okay, here in data exploration, the different steps will be there. For example, loading the data, identifying the very important attributes, performing univariate analysis and bivariate analysis if necessary, or multivariate statistics also, and detecting interactions among the attributes. Okay, similarly detecting the aberrant and missing values, particularly missing values or aberrant values can be has to be detected here, and outliers which are not important that has to be detected and eliminated. And finally, after doing all this feature engineering, we will get a data which will have some insights. Okay, this is the different there are different charts available. Okay, there are different charts available for the expressing this visualizing this data. Okay, we'll just discuss that. Now these are the steps of data exploration and preparation. That is variable identification, identifying the predictor, that is input and output variables, which variable must be an input and which must be an output variable, and what is the category of the variables. Univariate analysis, second step is to do the performing univariate analysis. It will depend on whether the variable type is continuous values or categorical values or binary values like this. And bivariate analysis can be done in order to extract the relationship between the different variables. Bivariate, and what is the relationship between the variable 1 and variable 2? And missing value statement, missing data in the training data set can reduce the power of the model. Okay, reduce the fit of a model also. In such cases, we have to eliminate this, or we have to yeah, interpret that missed values data. Outlier treatment. Outlier is an observation that appears far away and diverges from an overall pattern in a sample. Okay, outlier has to be eliminated, otherwise it will create a fitting performance of the model in fitting will get reduced. Then variable transformations. Transformation is a process that changes the distributions or relationship of a variable with others, like changing y to the functions. Okay, we have to identify the functions which has to be represented, which can represent the data patterns. And variable creations. Features of variable creation is a process to generate a new variables or features based on existing variables. Okay, these are the different steps one has to be followed to explore the data and preparing the data. Now the data types, different types of data, like it may be a data, may be a quantitative data, discrete data, continuous data, similarly categorical data, data that can be counted or measured, all values are numerical. Numerical data that has a finite number of possible values, example number of employees in the office. Similar continuous data that is measured and has a value within a range, okay, rainfall in a year. The data may be categorical, that is data that can be sorted according to the group or category. For example, type of the product sold, okay, type of the fruits, okay, like this. A relationship may be a nominal comparisons, okay, simple comparisons, say number of various visitor to various websites, and time series with respect to the time the goes on changes, that is a trend changes, track changes, sales changes. That is also one type of the data relationship. And correlationship may be a positive or negative relationships. For example, salary according to the education level. Deviation, this examines how data points relate to each other, particularly how far any given data point differs from the mean. Example, say amusement park tickets sold on a rainy day versus a regular day. Amusement park tickets sold on a rainy day versus a regular day. Similarly, distribution. This shows data distribution often around a central value. Say example, heights of the players on a basketball team. Similarly, part-to-whole relationships. This shows a subset of data compared to the larger whole. Example is percentage of the customers purchasing specific products. Okay, this different types of the data has to be studied, and the relationships between the different variables as also must be explored in detail for further model generations. And one can use the visualization tools like chart. There we have got different chart like a bar chart. Okay, this is a different bar charts available. Similarly, we can have pie charts. One can use the pie charts to understand the data. Similarly, line chart, for example, this shows the direct marketing views by date with respect to the date. Similarly, area charts, okay, best used to show or compare a quantitative progression over time. Similarly, under area we have got area chart, stacked area chart, 100% stacked area chart. Okay, each and every charts will have their own significance. For example, a simple area chart, it is used to show or compare a quantitative progression over time. But stacked area, it is used to visualize part to whole relationship, how the a part of the data is related to the whole data. 100% stack means it is best used to show distribution of categories as a part of a whole, how the each category is distributed as a whole in terms of cumulative total, whether it is important or unimportant things. And scatter plot, which is made up of the dots. Okay, here for example, here in the x-axis we have got units sold, and y-axis we have got revenues in millions. Similarly, bubble charts, one can use bubble chart. It is also a scatter plot with bubbles, best used to display an additional variables. Here on bubble map can also be used for visualizing the values for specific geographic regions. Heat maps, which is are mainly used to display the categorical data using intensity of color to represent values of geographic areas or data tables. Okay, this that is about third phase. Then now we'll go for the fourth stage, that is modeling. In modeling, all the collected after data collections and data analysis, one has to extract the proper model. Okay, model may be in the form of logics, or it may be in the form of the rules, or it may be in the form of mathematical functions. Here, AI models can be classified into two types. One is learning based model and rule based model. In learning based model, once again, we can have machine learning based or deep learning based. Okay, here rule based models, one rule based model, it refers to a model which has got a set of rules. Okay, here you can see that in this example, we have got different attributes like outlook, temperature, humidity, wind. Okay, in this we are finding whether elephant is spotted or not. But there are rules say that if the outlook is sunny, temperature is hot, and if humidity is high and wind is weak, in such cases, elephant is not found. There are certain instances like when the outlook is overcast, temperature is cold, humidity is normal, and wind is strong. In such cases, elephant is spotted. Okay, this is some examples of the rule based approach. Learning based approach. Okay, in this learning based approach, actually there will be no uh, input and output. Will output data, that is data is not labeled in this case, that is but in case of a rule based approach, we will have set of input as well as output here. Okay, set of input values and output. Based on this, it will estimate the or predict the things. Okay, this is a rule based approach. In rule that is in learning based approach, so here there is no output, only data will be there, output data will not be there, only input data is there. The system has to understand the patterns or relationship about the existing input data, and uh, it has to identify the proper patterns or insight in that data. For example, here we have got a set of fruits. Here fruits, it is making clusters of the fruit here. Okay, here there are different cluster category of the fruit based on the size, shape, color. Okay, based on that some features, it will identify the fruit belongs to which group. Okay, this is one learning based approach. Okay, in a learning based approach, the learning may be a that is in general, machine learning models can be classified into supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Okay, supervised learning is a rule based learning. Okay, in this supervised learning, we have classification and regressions. Okay, classification may be finders algorithm, candidate elimination algorithm, decision trees, naive-bayes classifier, support vector machine, KNN algorithm, and logistic regression also. In regression, we have got once again linear regression, locally weighted regression, multilinear regressions, polynomial regression, and lasso regression. Unsupervised learning is one which is not a rule based, it is a learning based, and even reinforcement learning is a learning based. Only the first type supervised learning is a rule based, okay, which has got set of predefined data will be there, that is labeled data will be there, which acts as a training data set. Using that training data sets, the system will learn the things and develop a model. Appropriate model will be developed based on the training data set or rule data set. In unsupervised learning, we will have some examples like clustering examples, say K-means EM algorithm. Similarly, dimensionality reduction examples, say PCA, principal component analysis, and association analysis like FP GROW. These are some of the algorithms which are not rule-based, which is learning-based. Even reinforcement learning, Q-learning or genetic algorithms are examples for learning-based. Okay, in unsupervised and reinforcement, common thing is they will observe the environment, and based on that, based on the observations, they will predict the next things. Okay, predict the prediction of the next event or next data will be done. Now, the fifth stage is model evaluation. Okay, in model evaluation, that is already a model has been designed. Now, model has to be selected. Okay, which model is the best model? What do you want to do with your data? Okay, that's some how to select the machine learning models. First of all, with respect to data, what we are supposed to do, like additional requirement, like we will measure the accuracy, training time that is required, linearity, number of parameters it takes, number of features it takes. From all these parameters, we can evaluate which one is the best model or not, and we can use some metrics like accuracy, okay, which is dependent on true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negative. Similarly, calculating the precision, recall, true positive rate, false positive rate. Yeah, using all these different metrics, if you take multiple algorithms, one can compare all those algorithms with respect to accuracy. Whichever the model or algorithm is having a high accuracy or precision or recall, that algorithms or model for particular problem can be selected. Okay, this is a simple step to choose a model. Initially, raw data will be given. After pre-processing and data is prepared, prepared data will be sent to an algorithm. Algorithm will be trained using this prepared data. It will undergo training, and model will be generated. And this model will be used, and performance will be evaluated using the applications. Then finally, one model can be selected, which one is the best. Okay. Here, candidate model, before deploying or choosing a candidate model, one can go for iterative version. If there are 10 models are there, each model will be tested separately, and whichever the best model is there, that will be deployed. Okay, then the last step is prototyping and deployment. After tuning all the models and selecting the proper model, one has to start to design a prototype or application or product by agreeing or choosing the right software development lifecycle. One can go for waterfall model or agile model based on their requirement, and after selecting a one proper model, they can start to design the prototype based on the waterfall or agile model. And once the prototype is designed, it has to be tested and finalized. And after performance and feedbacks, user feedback or customer feedback is satisfactory, then it has to be deployed for the further usage and maintained regularly. So these are the six different stages of the artificial intelligence project cycle. Okay, this is the six okay, these are the six stages that we discussed here. Once again, I'll just have a look on the six stages. These are the problem scoping is the first stage, followed by data acquisition, and that is followed by data exploration. So here where we have got the visualization. In problem scoping, a problem will be completely understood with respect to that stakeholders, location, context, like this, and proper idea has to be generated here for solving a problem using artificial intelligence techniques. Then required data has to be collected by using a different methodologies, and after collecting the data, it has to be cleaned and explored. Analysis has to be done, and finally the prepared data has to be sent to the algorithms or models. The model, there may be n number of models or algorithms, but then we have to evaluate those all 10 algorithms or whatever the number of algorithms or models available. We have to do the evaluation in terms of accuracy, precision, recall, like this, any metrics, confusion metrics we have to use and evaluate the algorithms. And after evaluating algorithms, it has to be deployed. Okay, deployment has to be done. Okay, these are the different six stages of the artificial intelligence project cycle. Okay, this is about in this session. Okay, we will continue the next topic in the next sessions. Thank you all. Happy learning.